Do I just wait for you to?
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. So glad you guys could join us once again. For those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X, we're glad that you all can be with us. We're about to connect with our friends over on IG as well, so they can be a part of our conversation. And last but certainly not least, going to connect with our friends over on Amazon. And I get to introduce you guys to not only a best-selling author, but also someone I'm glad to call a friend as well, who's joining us here on Amazon Live to talk about his writing journey and what's been like for him to share that with all of you. And we are now live on the Amazon Live platform with Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, welcome. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button, either here in this corner or down below. You also will see some of the books by our next guest. So excited to welcome Amazon bestselling author Etter to our broadcast today. He has written several books. I have some of them here with me in the studio. You guys can see them there on the Amazon platform. You have Manhattan Mayhem, which I have right here. You have World of Rage, you all can see there. Devil's Sympathy is there on the Amazon side too. A Brain in Third Person. I have mine right here. Also, A War in the Bronx, as well as other books. We're going to talk to Shane not only about this writing journey, but how it all began for him. And of course, that you guys know how to stay connected with him. Shane, my friend, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Cyrus. I am thrilled to be here, thrilled to talk to all your listeners and friends and fans, and just can't wait to get this going.
Yeah, well, Shane, the last time we talked, hey, Ellen, good to be to see you over there on YouTube. Ellen says hello to you as well, Shane. So, Shane, you and I've had this great friendship and working relationship for years. I first met you in person, and you and I, it felt like we've known each other forever. I've been able to see your career kind of go along the way. The last time we had an interview, I was actually there in Atlanta with you there. What has it been like for you, Shane, to do what you love as a writer and then to share that with all of us?
I missed the first part of that last question.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no problem. I was just asking, what has it been like for you as an author to be able to do what you love and share that with all of us?
Well, that's a very interesting question and possibly a difficult question to answer. I started writing to improve my brain after a stroke, and I'm going to backtrack. I had a near fatal stroke at 50 years old, and as you know what they say, and we know who they are, and I'm joking, we have no idea who they are, but they say the best thing you can do for your brain is to read. Well, I figured if reading is that good for you, then writing, creating new words, instead of reading someone else's words, would have to be even better for your brain. So I literally started writing just to improve my brain after a stroke, a pretty damaging stroke. And as it turns out, being a voracious reader, I don't know, 2,000 words into it, which is not much, in a novel. My average length is 75,000 words over 10 novels. But 2,000 words into it, I knew it was good enough to be published.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was the best thing I'd ever read. It wasn't. But I knew it wasn't the worst thing I'd ever read, which meant it was somewhere in the middle of everything I'd ever read, which meant it was good enough to be published. And I saw a famous author, unlike me, an unfamous author, a famous author who said one time that there's no greater feeling than the day you finish your first novel. Well, I don't even know where because the day I finished my first novel, I said, okay, what's the second one going to, what's the next one going to be? I mean, a day does not go by that I don't write. And the day I finished my first one, I started my second one. The day I finished my second one, I started my third, and so on and so forth. It's just, a constant, never-ending struggle. I guess parts of it are struggle, parts of it are extremely fun. It depends on what you're writing and how you're writing, but nevertheless, the day I finished my first novel, I started my second. So I knew this was going to be the rest of my life.
Right.
And now I couldn't not write.
Right. Well, Shane, let's go back a little bit because Bottom Dwellers was your first published book, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, here you are, as you mentioned, at the age of 50, having this stroke that could have ended your life. What was this second career like for you? I mean, you were used to doing one thing before that. What was it like for you now to have readers that enjoyed your work?
Well, I was in high-tech sales before my stroke. As I like to say, I was a high-tech sales weasel, not to insult any other sales weasels that might be watching this, but nevertheless, that's what I called myself.
Mhm.
And I just knew I couldn't do that anymore after my stroke. From a mental and psychological standpoint, I knew I couldn't do that.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think the great thing is, I mean, the funny thing about that, Shane, is that because of this new chapter, pun intended there, of your life, that's how you and I were able to meet. I didn't know you in your
No doubt.
previous life. I got to know you only as an author, and there are many people now that's only way they know you. You've written so many different types of books. So where do you normally find your ideas, Shane?
Hello, I woke up this morning and an idea hits me. I don't know. Several of my novels are about serial killers, but
Mhm.
one is a post-apocalyptic dystopian end-of-world story. Another is about rival drug gangs in New York City, and so everyday stuff. And I'm trying to be funny. There's nothing everyday about serial killers, end of the world, or New York City drug gangs, but they are things that are happening. And the easiest thing, and I have heard other writers say this, is that I write what I like to read.
Mhm.
And that is so just coming up with a different spin on it. When I
Right.
mentioned my post apocalyptic dystopian end of world story, have you ever seen the movie The Road with Viggo Mortensen and the little boy trying to make it to the Atlantic Ocean from Chicago in a post apocalyptic world?
I have not seen it. No.
Okay. It was based on the novel The Road by Cormac McCarthy, who's one of
Okay.
the greatest of all time. So that that movie inspired me to write my post-apocalyptic story, and mine is virtually not like that one at all. But
Mhm.
nevertheless, that's where I came up. I got the idea because I loved the movie and the book when I read the book, the
Right.
novel after seeing the movie.
That's amazing. I want to give some shout outs here. Shane, hello to you. Cotton Campbell, good to be see you over there on IG. Tim Johnson, hello to you. Tim, we still have to get together. We have to get you on the show. Fly Books, hello to you. For those of you who are tuning in also over there on YouTube, I see you guys on Facebook. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents. We're on the Amazon Live platform, but
Well,
we are simulcasting this across social media with my friend, Shane Etter, who I last saw in Atlanta, but he's now joining us today to talk to us about his writing journey. If you just come in, he was telling us about this journey. All began for him at the age of 50 after his stroke. That's when he started writing, and he's been writing literally ever since. Shane, I have my book, Manhattan Mayhem, up here. Talk to us about this book. Where did the idea come from?
well, Manhattan Mayhem. My two main characters are two African American young men, and I don't even remember their real names now because their nicknames are Bookworm and
Bookworm
Reefer.
and Reefer. Right.
You can infer from that what you'd like, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, have become, they are in my three most recent novels. And the one I'm writing right now is also a Bookworm and Reefer novel.
Mhm.
And I asked my publisher a month or so ago, I said, do you think, or what do you think about me writing nothing but stories about Bookworm and Reefer the rest of my career?
Mm.
He said he thought they could hold their own as main characters forever, but I don't know if he. But I'm thinking I may not write nothing but Bookworm and Reefer books
Wow.
from now
So
on.
So then talk to us about them then. What was it that, I mean, what was the spark that kind of created those two characters? Because for those who don't know, I mean, they've been able to work with the police there. Of course, the title of the book is Manhattan Mayhem. In this particular book, they've worked with the police there in New York before, but they are also individuals who are kind of able to understand the world that they're kind of operating in. How did the two of them come to you, Shane?
Well, they started off as informants to the NYPD because the the man they most worked with in the NYPD was a middle 50-ish 50s Italian detective, and he couldn't go anywhere because he screamed police. Everybody who saw him thought, "There's a policeman. There's a detective." So he used Bookworm and Reefer as informants because they can go anywhere because Bookworm is tall and has an afro still now, and Reefer is short and has a shaved tattooed head and face, kind of like old Mike Tyson. But anyway, so they fit in places that this Italian sergeant detective could not possibly fit in.
Right.
But over the course of 3 books, they have changed from just being informants to now they have their own private detective agency in New York. And in the book I'm writing now, they have ended up in Atlanta because, I'm not going to give too much away, because Bookworm's cousin has been arrested as a serial killer in Atlanta. And so his cousin's mom asked him if he would go down to Atlanta and get him off. Sure, no big deal. I'll just go down there and get him off. But anyway, that is the premise behind the book.
Yeah. Has there ever been a book for you? And again, I want to say hello to you guys on the Amazon side. If you guys have any questions or comments for Shane, make sure you guys do put those in the chat there. But has there ever been a book that you wondered how readers would take it, Shane? Because you do write so many different types of books. Like if I look at a book like A War in the Bronx, another book that's set in New York, of course, versus Manhattan Mayhem versus a Brain in Third Person, which I have here. Has there ever been a book that you wondered how readers would respond to it?
Well, I love New York City. It's my favorite city in the world. I'm from Jackson, as you are, and as you know. I've lived in Atlanta for almost 30 years, and now I'm in Texas and don't know how long I'll be here. But nevertheless, I love New York City. It's my favorite city in the world. And I hope people can identify with books I set in New York because they're set in New York. But I had somebody say something interesting to me one time. They said that something about most books are set in some neighborhood or some area or something. And here, this one's in New York City. I said, well, New York City is somebody's neighborhood.
You're right.
A lot of somebody's, about 10 million plus people, somebody's neighborhood. So I just thought that was an interesting comment they made, and that was my response. New York is a lot of people's neighborhood.
Right. Such a good point. Hello to you, Melissa Banks. Good to see you over there on the IG side. Glad you could be able to join us. So you mentioned, of course, that Bookworm and Reefer are showing up in the book you're currently writing. For those who are new to you, though, Shane, Manhattan Mayhem is a book that features them. What other book do you already have out that features those two characters?
Well, oh my goodness.
A War in the Bronx?
A War in the Bronx, Manhattan Mayhem, The Prosaist and the Unholy Ghost. Those are the 3 that focus on Bookworm and Reefer. And not only that, I have to mention this because I am quite proud of it. All 3 of those books won me nominations for Georgia Author of the Year. And there's an organization called the Georgia Author of the Year Awards, Gaia, that's what they call it. And so for 20, 21, and 22, I was a nominee for Georgia Author of the Year for each of those Bookworm and Reefer books. So apparently people are liking Bookworm and Reefer fairly well.
Right, right. Red Wine 4, hello to you over there on IG. Glad you can be able to join us as well. Again, for those of you joining us on the Amazon side, you will see either the print edition or the Kindle edition of these books that you all can be able to get here. For those of you who are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube, you'll find a link that will give you the Amazon link to all of Shane's books that are currently on Amazon, so you guys can be able to catch up with him. As you heard him mentioning, he's now writing a new book featuring the characters Bookworm and Reaper, but you can be able to find out about them in the books that we have here in the carousel. I want to go back to what we mentioned earlier, Shane, about the stroke at age 50. I mean, could you have imagined at that point when you had the stroke at 50 that you would now have this brand new career?
Well, it's even, so I'm going to take that a little different direction. Before my stroke, and in my head and in my heart, but I was a black belt in karate. But after a stroke and my left leg hardly working and my left arm being weak as well, my days of karate are over.
Yeah.
But I was given something else by God. I was given this ability to write, apparently. And I have had people ask me, to say, if you could go back and not have a stroke and still be a black belt in karate, or you would have a stroke and become a writer like you are now, which would you rather be? And I go, there's no way I can answer that. How could I answer that? I didn't want to have a stroke, but God took something that was terrible and turned something good out of it turned it into something good. So, but do I miss not being able to punch and kick like a black belt should? Yes, I do. Would I want to go back? Like I say, I can't answer that.
Right. So what advice do you normally give? I know authors or aspiring authors ask you this question, Shane. What advice do you normally give them about the writing journey or your career as a writer?
If it's interesting how many people have told me they've always wanted to write a book, and I always say the exact same thing when someone, then start writing today, now, this minute. My mentor, who is a 2-time or 3-time Pulitzer nominee, told me years ago, write every single day. And in a year, he said, write a page every day. And in a year, you'll have a novel. And that makes sense. A page a day in a year, that's 365 pages. That's a good length novel.
Yeah.
So he said, write a page every day, and in a year, you'll have a novel. So it is not a quick process, but nevertheless, people waste a lot more time than that pursuing other, things not nearly as fun or as exciting or challenging or entertaining, however you want to say about it. But yeah, that's the advice. So I've given a number of people, if somebody tells me they want to write a book or write a novel, start writing today. The other thing is I tell them what my mentor told me. Write a page every single day, and in a year you'll have a novel.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best advice I've ever been given, and I owe it to people who care to tell them the same thing. So hopefully we're telling a lot of people that today.
Love that. Well, it's a great reminder. And let me just say, I am glad that you started writing, Shane. Otherwise, I probably never have met you. That
and vice versa.
Yeah, so that is great. Not glad you had the stroke necessarily, but glad that it opened up this new career for you that we get to enjoy. Again, everyone, Shane Etter has been our guest. Make sure you guys do grab, and you can't go wrong with any of the books we talked about here, but on the Amazon side, they're there in the carousel. For those of you joining us on social, you can find the link there. Shane, where are you the most active that people can stay connected with you?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, where can they stay connected with you? Where can they stay connected with you, Shane?
Oh, excuse me. I'm having Facebook issues right now. I'm locked out. So LinkedIn is the best place right now. And I hope this week I will be back on Facebook because
Okay.
I used it all day last Sunday, like I do every day. You know, I do a lot of promoting of
Mhm.
my books and marketing, as you know.
Mhm.
I use Facebook all day, Sunday and Sunday night, and then Monday. In fact, I usually leave since I use my iPad and have multiple windows open, I usually leave a Facebook window open all the time, so I'll see if someone reaches out to me while I'm writing or something like that. But anyway, Monday morning went in to go to Facebook again, and I was locked out, and no reason, no nothing, just it was locked out, and I couldn't get back in. So I'm going to go to my friendly neighborhood geek squad as soon as I get a chance, and not to intentionally give them a commercial, but they've been awesome when I've helped in the past. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll be able to be joined there. I know we have the link over there as well. But Shane, looking forward to our next interview together.
Oh, always,
All
always, Cyrus. Thank you
right.
so much. I'm
More
very
than welcome.
grateful.
And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Grateful for your support, Cyrus, and all your fans.